Today I'm going to talk about 5 things you must stop doing for a narcissist. No matter how strong your belief is that you can somehow change them, transform them into a better person, I'm going to explain why it just never works. And believe me, I've tried. And after watching this, I bet most of you have tried doing all 5 of these things as well. Number 1, stop worrying about hurting them, about hurting their feelings. I would bet that you have been walking around on eggshells around them, worrying that you might say or do something wrong. So when you decide to stick up for yourself and say something, when you confront them in some way, even if it's in a controlled setting, they may get irritated and lash out at you. They will put on some big show. But here's the thing you have to remember about narcissists. They don't have real feelings. They don't have a heart to break. And to be honest, they couldn't care less about what you had to say. They are only lashing out to flip things around, project everything back onto you. And what happens next? You end up being the one to apologize. Again. Number 2, stop feeling sorry for them. Of all the tricks they have up their sleeve, this is one of their favorites, especially for the covert narcissist. They absolutely love to throw a huge pity party for themselves, and they will exaggerate about every situation just to be the center of attention. Just to give a quick example here, I once witnessed my abuser get a small cut on his finger. Hell, to me it only looked like a small scratch. This dude starts ranting around, cussing up a storm, and going up to everyone around the place we were at. Anyone he could find, showing them his finger. He needed everyone to know he was injured. He needed complete and total attention on him. Now, by this point in my relationship with this guy, I was in my confrontation stage of healing. That phase where I had just had enough. I would start calling him out on some of his bullshit. I had been realizing for a while by this time what this dude is really all about. So I simply looked at it and said, just go rub some dirt on it, you'll be fine. He looked at me with that evil stare. You've all seen that stare. Then he walked away and started showing anyone else that would feel sorry for him, anybody that would give him the attention he was craving. I almost felt like he was looking for a response like the one I gave him, just so he could crank up the drama even further. I was correct. You need to remember that narcissists love drama, and they will have 18 comebacks ready for however anyone reacts to their dilemma at the time, just so they can extend that drama even further. Number 3, you need to stop helping them. Always remember that a narcissist is only concerned about one thing, and that's themselves. They have no problems using you up as much as they can. This was a very difficult thing for me to come to terms with because I am genuinely a helpful person. So here's what I eventually learned in my Narc relationship. No matter how much I helped, no matter how much I offered or provided them, it just never seemed good enough. There was always something else that they needed from me. I should have learned this a lot earlier on because I gave so much of myself to this person, all in hopes of earning his respect and appreciation, which never did come, by the way. It only got worse. Number 4, stop trying to build their potential into reality. Being a super empath, this one really hits home for me. It's like it's built into my DNA to try to fix other people, to try to provide solutions to their problems. Understanding that I have my own unique flaws, as most of us do, I do feel that being the eternal optimist that I am, helping people build their potential has been pretty successful for me. And another super important thing I have learned over the course of my Narc relationships is, when you try to see potential in them, then you try to help them realize what you see in them, they just become more resentful towards you. The reason they do this is because they don't have any potential. They don't have any desire to hear anything positive you have to say. They actually despise you more when you come at them with positive vibes, with solutions to their problems. They have most likely tried and failed so many times, they see life as one big letdown. When they are around you and see how happy you are, how positive you are, they actually hate that. And whenever you approach them with those positive words and those positive solutions, they just think back on all their failures and are unable to vision anything better than who they are now. They lost the desire to grow years ago, and nothing you do, nothing you say, no matter how good your intentions are, it's only going to make things worse for a narcissist. So here's a quick question for you. Is all this making some sense? Are you relating to what I'm talking about here? If so, please let me know by typing "I get it" in the comments below. And now for number 5. Another thing you must stop doing for a narcissist is loving them enough to transform them into something you want them to be. Because narcissists don't know how to feel real love or how to feel any empathy for anyone. What makes you think you are any different? I don't mean that in a harsh way, but it's about time we get brutally honest with ourselves here. How long have you been begging for the narcissist in your life to express true, ongoing love? Think for a second and check their consistency on this, and be honest with yourself. In my experience, things were great in the beginning, and that's what they wanted. They needed me to buy into their fake persona. So when I fell for all the love bombing and adoration they showered me with, I was sold. I was determined to make sure they would never leave because of how they made me feel. Then when they turned and all those amazing traits disappeared, I spent years trying to love them enough to get those traits back in return, but it was all in vain. That person never really existed. It was all just a front to capture me and use me for all the great things that they saw in me. I lost a lot of my younger years trying my hardest to make them love me, and after all those years, I finally had come to terms with reality. I realized I was living in some sort of dreamland, thinking I could somehow get them to love me back. I felt I was almost going insane with my efforts. Instead of a dreamland, it all turned out to be a huge nightmare land. Now go and reflect on your narc relationship. If you are doing any of the things I have just talked about, go find it within yourself to stop doing them. Doing these things will only end up bringing you pain and sorrow. Thanks so much for watching. I hope these 5 things have shed some light on your life and give you some food for thought moving forward. And until next time, watch for the signs. Be alert. Be vigilant. Be strong. Be brave. And go live your best life today.